Hello and welcome into Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and we continue to break down a tough loss to the Steelers, but the New England Patriots still seemingly well ahead of where they were in previous years. The Mike Vrabel era in full swing. What Drake May is bringing and growing week to week continues to give hope for what this team can become. But before we get too far down the line and start looking at this Panthers matchup for Sunday, we go into the numbers from the Steelers and what we can take away from that. We look into the offense and defensive breakdown, including the snap tracker and what that tells us for who's up and who's down, and the latest for Ramondre Stevenson. And is there indeed a changing of a guard in the backfield for your New England Patriots? Before we get into everything, make sure you go down, subscribe for the channel so you get all the information alerted to you as it becomes available. Get into the comments and let us know what you think about the Patriots and the difficult and disappointing loss to that Pittsburgh team, what the Patriots need to do different to ensure that they do not end up in the same boat against the Panthers, who just came away with a 30-0 win over the Atlanta Falcons. Also, make sure you go down and give us that like. Go back and check out all of our old episodes after this one, and we continue to break it down here for you on Pat's Latest. And we start with the breakdown of the numbers. And before we get to the key one for Drake May, a lot going on in the NFL, including 7 NFL games in which there was a game-winning score that came in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. Just a wild amount of parity in the NFL as we saw teams like the Green Bay Packers, who looked like they could ascend to really be that top 3 team in the NFL right now, ending up losing to the Cleveland Browns, who, yes, that defense has come full circle yet again and looking vaunted again, but a team that has Joe Flacco, who is what, 48 at this point? And no, I know he's not 48, but seriously, like, this is a team that just beat a team from the NFC that really could potentially go all the way. But again, seeing leads change hands, nothing is safe. Those game winners in 7 games in that final 3 minutes, coming in that fourth quarter, is the most such games sitting in a single day. So 7 happening in a single day since 1970, the merger, and that according to the Elias Sports Bureau. So again, you're gonna see it back and forth. The Patriots had a chance to tie it up late. They had to come back and forth with the Miami Dolphins. Expect to see more of this continue, especially with, again, a lot of parity, a young Patriots team figuring out in a new system. But the big one that we want to focus on is Drake May and the Patriots. And we talked about the 5 turnovers and how it cost them. It couldn't not. But those 5 lost turnovers, and again, it becomes very important, are the most for this Patriots team since 2008. So again, about as bad as it can possibly get, and it's still a one-score game. So while you can say this is terrible and how can we possibly win like this, there is a big difference between being in a game, being able to execute, and having mistakes, because again, they are teaching moments, especially with a real young team. And it becomes for especially Drake May that unfortunately Sunday was the 6th career game for Drake May with multiple turnovers. And that is the number that Drake May must avoid moving forward, because when Drake May has more than one turnover, he and the New England Patriots are 0-6. So keep an eye on it. If he has a fumble, if he has an interception, know that if a second one comes, there is going to be a really tough time for this Patriots team to come away with the victory. So make sure you take care of the football. That doesn't just go for Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, and others. Really less on the shoulders and specifically the arm of Drake May to get it done at the end of the day. Now we start to look at the defensive breakdown for your New England Patriots from that game. And we saw that Christian Ellis was benched, the starting middle linebacker, next to Robert Spillane in that game. And it's going to have ripple effects. And we already started to see Marte Mapu potentially ascend. He only ends up playing 9 snaps in that game, but it becomes more so with Ellis, going down to just 19 snaps. And when you start to miss assignments and expect to get him to get back into the flow of things here. Ramondre Stevenson even saw 2 snaps after multiple fumbles in the same game. But again, the usual suspects for the Patriots. Marcus Jones getting all those reps from Christian Gonzalez after, unfortunately, Alex Austin, got burned a couple times and really saw a minor role because of that, down to only 26% of the snaps. But Marcus Jones, Robert Spillane, Jalen Hawkins, Carlton Davis were the 4 Patriots to play every single defensive snap. Woodson as a safety actually only had 2 plays off of there. And again, rotating on that defensive line, Harold Landry, Levon Chasen, Milton Williams, and Christian Barmore all seeing nearly 70% and above. Jack Gibbons stepped up in the absence of Marte Mapu, and we'll keep an eye if he continues that trend. He obviously will see more of a timeshare likely to start and riding the hot hand at that position based upon who's doing well. And Kyle Duggar, was that next man up after that, really seeing more his time still on special teams. And Karis Tonga actually was the big man in the middle, a couple big stops on the defensive line. But again, it's more of the benching that is going to factor in moving forward. And if the Patriots decide that's where they want to keep it, and if Christian Ellis, again, who got that big contract in the offseason, can find a way to get back in the good graces of this coaching staff. And I heard it from Scott Pioli, who was talking about Mike Vrabel and what he's done and has earned some buy-in by not just completely moving away from guys when they make mistakes, that he's allowing for them to learn and giving them secondary opportunities to show that they have learned from those issues. Ramondre Stevenson may got that shot. He got it in the game. Christian Ellis will expect him to get that shot. We'll see how long that leash actually goes, though. Same will go for the New England Patriots offense here, as the offensive line has continued, to play fairly well and has played all of the snaps next to Drake Maye. So again, all the guys still out there along the 2 guard spots, 2 tackles, center, and quarterback. Next man up, obviously no surprise, in Hunter Henry, who still played 81% of the snaps in spite of suffering what appeared at the time to be a very serious knee injury, was able to shake that one off. He asked about it on Monday, said, every Monday hurts, everything hurts after a game day, but didn't give too much credence that it was a big time injury. Looking at who the potential number 1 wide receiver for your New England Patriots is, Kayshon Boutte continues to lead the way, over 76% of the snaps in at 56 of those 74, ahead of Mac Hollins, who was actually the number 2 coming down for the snap percentage at 62%, and Stephon Diggs just clearing 50% of the snaps, 39 of the 74, checks in at 53%. This is now 3 straight games where he is hovering right at this 50% mark. For me, it is time to unleash Stephon Diggs, take these training wheels off, and if we do not see this jump at least to 60%, if not getting closer to that 75% mark that Kayshon Boutte is getting as well, I think that is starting to represent that they are not quite ready to let Stephon Diggs get to this point, because they really are guarding against what is going on with his recovery from the ACL. And if that is the case, and especially with Demario Douglas, who played less than 40% of the snaps, I think it is time for Kyle Williams to get a shot and show what he can do. He got 12%, just 9 of the 74 offensive snaps. We need more playmaking ability from the wide receiver position. Again, Mac Hollins is a big body target, sure-handed, great blocker, but you need yak guys, yards after catch, guys you can put in space and let things happen. The same is going to go for the running back position. Ramondre Stevenson down to just 36% because of those fumbles. Travion Henderson nearly played 50%, 34 of the 74 snaps, getting 4 of those on special teams, yes, but again, I think it's time for the Patriots to really start to look at these young, skilled playmakers and what they can bring to this offense. I think it is time for change. I think they've given 3 games. You're 1-2. You've seen mistakes coming from the veterans, the holdovers that we talked about yesterday. It's time to see what these kids have for you, and it's time for big changes on this Patriots offense. And finally, the update on Ramondre Stevenson. Again, these fumbling issues is nothing new. We were hoping that it could be shored up with maybe some extra coaching and a new scheme. But unfortunately, with 2 in the same game and coming at a terrible time because he almost single handedly won you that Dolphins game. But again, as Ramondre Stevenson yet said Sunday after it, he said, if I can't hold on to the ball, they don't need me. And unfortunately, he's right. Even though Mike Vrabel said, quote unquote, we absolutely need him, was the quote. He said, we need his ability. We also need him to take care of the football. And yes, that goes without saying. Vrabel added that he's not really sure what we're going to do. He helped us win a game last week, and it's a different story today. And that will unfold as you move forward because, again, if you can't trust a guy to hold on to the football, you can't trust a team to win. That's just the name of the game in the NFL. What I think this does gives the chance to Travion Henderson to prove that he belongs in the NFL, and can he hold up as a 3-down back? And that's not to say that he'd get every snap. You can use Stevenson to spell him from time to time and earn his way back in the good graces of this coaching staff. And again, Antonio Gibson, your other running back, fumbled as well. So when Henderson asked about this, he said, I'll really leave it up to coach. I'm definitely comfortable. And that's in regards to being the guy, getting more of this. Henderson said when he's asked about being this top running back, if you will, he said that I'm learning how to embrace whatever God puts in front of me. Again, he gives very much the good PR answers here, but he added that decision really comes from the coaches, what they decide to do. My biggest thing is to earn a role. Just try to work as hard as I can, come to practice and try to earn a role on this team. The rest I leave up to God and the ones that make that decision. And for Henderson, I think he's going to get that chance. It's what we see against an improving Carolina defense. Again, they made life very difficult for Michael Penix and company in Atlanta. We'll see if Henderson, again, can do a little bit more. I think the dark horse of the issue of not getting Travion to a level where he could really be a factor is what the play calls are coming from Josh McDaniel. If you look at his rushing tree from that, it was the same play essentially 5 times in a row. That's got to be questioned. Is it because he's not comfortable putting Travion in these roles? Is that just what it happened to lean itself towards? I think you've got to go variety. You've got to get draws. You've got to get screens, bubble screens, rush right, stretch, halfback dive, run the gamut, get this guy wheel routes, get him involved, get Drake Maye the opportunity to make life easy. Don't have to force throws, make them long developing, use some play action, and get these guys who can make plays, whether it be Kyle Williams, whether it be Travion Henderson, whether it be Kayshon Boutte. Get these guys the ball in space and try and make life easy on just your second-year quarterback. A lot coming at you here for this episode of Pat's Latest, so make sure you go down in the comments. Let us know what you think is coming out, the biggest key from the Steelers game, what they can take into Carolina and assure that they can even this record at 500. Again, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel so all the latest information is brought to you as soon as it comes out. Give us that like if you liked what you hear, and go back and check out all those old episodes so you know exactly what's going on with your New England Patriots. We'll continue to have it here for you on Pat's Latest. Fight on, Foxborough.